Hello and welcome to today's special edition of the Balanced Trader, where I will be talking about domes, tickers and Tickstrike. If you don't know what those things are, I'm going to explain them to you and show you how I use these things to enhance my daily trading. And so without much ado, I've got a few slides to go through so I can just lay the groundwork, and then I will show you as well what it is that these things are and how I use them. So here we go. So first slide. There we go, here it is. What is a dome? It's a depth of market visual order entry tool. It allows me to sort of see the resting bids and offers and the interaction of buyers and sellers or participants in the market at any given time. Basically, they are designed for speed, clarity, and they're really, really useful when things get really, really busy and volatile. As you can see, I've got a few more things to run through. They are primary tools, and what I mean by a primary tool, when I'm looking at a dome, when I'm actually looking at a ticker, I'm actually seeing what's happening in the market there and then, as opposed to a secondary tool, which is something like a moving average or so basically a moving average is taking data and then making some calculations and then presenting it to you in a nice friendly way, but it's easy to see, easy to comprehend, but it's not very accurate. You know, you're always going to be lagging behind the market. So by using something like a dome and tickers, I'm able to very, very quickly sort of understand what the market's intentions or what it's trying to do or what it's failing to do very, very quickly, and I can take action in an instant. And when I say instant, it's reactionary. I don't even think about things anymore. It's just very, very quick. So that is why a dome is useful, because you're just seeing the very, very raw data of the market. It shows you the interaction of the participants in real time, yeah, the coolest thing is the ability to also display very important references on the dome at any given time. So I've got you couldn't do this before, but nowadays you can put down a mini volume profile on your dome, and you can you can look at multiple domes at the same time, and you can see where they are in reference to their important trading areas, and you can do that for a lot of domes, and you put more onto one screen, so it allows you to follow correlations really, really easily. So so that's why I think they're really, really cool. It's you know, in that sense, it's like having 20 different charts all on one page and being able to execute on them very, very quickly. And you'll see that when I move on to that slide for you guys. So the other thing is that, you know, as I use these tools, I have enhanced the execution by using keyboard and mouse functions, macro functions on keyboards. So I use a good quality programmable mechanical keyboard, which might be annoying for some people, but I think, you know, there's a reason gamers using these, because they want to I want to enter orders really, really quickly in the market, and they want to shoot people really, really quickly. So we're trying to do the same thing. So gamers use these tools to better enhance their gameplay, and I want to you know, likewise enhance my gameplay and when I'm playing the game of trading. So you know, I'll run through those a little bit with you guys as well. So let me just get on to the next slide. For those of you who don't know what or seen a dome before, this is what it is. This is what it is, and I'm gonna you know, quickly show you on a slide. There we go. So this is what a dome is. So the dome is a very visual tool. So on the left hand side, I don't know, hopefully we can see me pointing to things on this. Great, yes you can. So this is basically my volume profile. I've got my VWAP, I've got my VPOC, I've got my value area high, I've got value area low, and I can see all the resting bids and offers. So I've got like a little mini histogram in each one of these price ladder settings, and you can see that the bigger the volume that's resting on the bid and the offer, the the bigger the histogram. So it's really visual. I can really quickly see, and you can see here at the bottom here, there's a couple of thousand lots resting on the bid. That's a little bit abnormal. So it stirs interest in the market, and it stirs interest for me. I want to see what happens if that price is neared or approached. So so this is the dome. Here I've got all my resting bids, I've got my price in the middle, and I have got my offers on the right hand side. And then this little red box here is just, it lights up blue, red, and shows me the order quantity that's just been executed, so I can really quickly see what's happening and whether participants are buying or selling at any given moment. And also what's really important with a dome, and where it gives you that edge, is just seeing how that interaction of participants with the resting bids and offers, whether or not they're being successful in, if there's you're seeing repeated orders buying and selling. You can see very quickly whether or not that's been successfully translated in movement in price, and if it's not, then maybe you want to start thinking that someone's absorbing this and maybe going the other way. So moving on to the next tool, which enhances what I just said, is the ticker. Now the ticker is something that Jesse Livermore was talks about being able to read the tape, and I really am a big advocate of tape reading, and I've done it for 20 years. These are skills, guys, that I've developed for 20 years, and it's not something you're going to pick up today or tomorrow. You're just not. It's just not. When I started on the floor at Schneider, it took days and days and days of trading just to even be able to execute simple orders, but to actually read the tape, it took years. A good 2 or 3 years. So this is not something that it's not something that you're going to be able to pick up very quickly. But if you're persistent and if you keep looking at something, eventually there are some things that I can teach you, but it does take a lot of time. Okay, but why do I use it? It shows me all the big orders that are hitting the market and stuff. So large orders are important because it shows me where the larger players are taking part. It's got a filter, so I can filter out for smaller order entries, like one lot from pajama traders like you and me. I'm not interested in that kind of thing. I don't want to follow what you're doing. I don't think anybody wants to follow what I'm doing. I'm not particularly, I don't move markets, but I do want to follow where the big guys are trading and what they're doing and how successful they are at trading, and I will take decisions off the back of that interaction that they have with the market. So this ticker allows me to, one, see the speed of the auction. So the faster the tape is moving up and down, the quicker the auction is, which indicates that something is happening. I want to pay attention to it. It also indicates to me the large orders that are going through. And this is very clever here, because a lot of large orders are disguised and broken up into smaller orders. And what this tape ticker does, it brings all those little small orders back into a single order that you can visually see. And sometimes you can see some really cool telltale signs, where if you can see a 60 lot, a 60 lot, a 60 lot, a 60 lot, 4 or 5 60 lots. But on the last traded, you might only see a few, tens and twos trading. Smaller volume clip sizes trading, then this will bring those back. And if you see multiples of the same size, that just shows you that there's a big guy or a big institution that is trying to execute and disguise that flow. So being able to sort of reconstitute that tape is amazing and very useful, and lots of tools do it. Sierra does it really well. TT is another tool that does it really well. But it's very expensive. So the amalgamation of smaller hidden orders into a single large order is really important. The filters, I can filter smaller orders that I don't want to see, like you and me, trading and interacting with the market, and then of course the tape speed. So what does it do? It kind of, I'll just let you read what's on there at the moment, because I don't think I can elaborate too much on that in this short video. But one of the best things about it is just seeing the interactions of the of the market with the with participants with the orders, with the orders that are resting on the bid and offer. This is my this is how I've set up my my domes. A lot of traders have a very, very similar. A lot of traders that I've traded with, of course, and I've been on a few floors, they have it set up. I taught all my grads to, set up in a very similar way as well. Why? Because it allows me to see, the correlations, allows them to see related markets. If something's happening in one market, I can relate to another market, and I can, quickly play off these interactions and these correlations, like without even thinking, and learning how to these correlations interplay is a skill. It takes time and they change, and you need to know what's driving what when. So what's particularly important at the moment is on this right hand side of the screen, I have got all my bonds. The 2-year, the 5-year, the shorter at the front end of the yield curve is quite important at the moment, because we've got inflationary worries, and what's going on in that 2 and 5 is really important. So yeah, if I see the 2-year aggressively moving one way or the other, I'm going to be looking for reaction in the equities. So, it's really something that you need to sort of understand what's going on in order for you to to trade really successfully. But what I can just show you quickly on this is that you can see that I can see the volume profiles of multiple different markets, and I can just see what they're doing at any given time. I've got a really good reflection of what's going on in the general market as a whole. I can see whether commodities are weak. I can see whether bonds are, yields are rising. I can see whether the Nasdaq is underperforming the Russell. All these different things. I can see at a flash. So it's really, really important, and it also allows me to execute in any one of these markets with a single click. And then we'll move on to that with my keyboard and my mouse trading skills, and then I will show you a real live ladder and how I use a tool called Tickstrike. So let's just quickly move on to the keyboard. So all of these ladders, I can interact with them with a single click on my mouse or a keyboard, and this is my keyboard setup. What I really wanted to also say is that when you're using these kind of tools, because you're using single click, I emphasize that you should make sure that you've got some kind of risk control to make sure that if you have any mistakes, these are controlled by a higher end system. So either your broker or your front end or something along those ilks will stop you out if your risk gets out of control. You should have that done anyway as a good and diligent trader. But if you haven't, that's a really good tip. So I emphasize that you should do that, especially if you're going to use these tools. 7 a.m. Eastern Time in the US NBA 30-year mortgage rate, previous 5.98%. Oh, that's the score. Sorry, that wasn't supposed to be mortgage applications, previous 4.2%. I'll just turn it off. You are supposed to be able to hear the Tickstrike tool, which it might go off, it might not. Okay, so this is the keyboard. I can execute on any ladder using multiple keys. I've got some keys do the same function all over again, like cancel. I've got in a couple of places. I've actually even got this escape button as a cancel all orders in the book, but I forgot to put that up. But basically I've got multiple cancel all orders in case something is said. I want to get my orders out as quick as possible. I've also got liquidate buttons in multiple places where I can quickly liquidate all my positions if I need to, or liquidate positions on a particular dome. But the most important thing that where my hand is on most of the time during the day, it is on the buy market and work bid and offer. These two areas, my hands are always resting on top of these or on the keyboard. So what this does, this allows me to work a bid, work an offer, and cancel very, very quickly. And I've got big hands, so I can quite quickly flick, cancel, order entry, hit market, do all that with a hand. My right hand, if I have to, I can take my hand off the mouse and I can just trade purely on keyboard on one dome only. But this allows me to be super efficient, super quick. I can get orders in really, really quick. I think, I got a letter from the exchange not long ago telling me that I'd broken their rules because I sent 103 orders in 1 second. So, I just goes to show you the speed that I can execute orders at. This is not something that most people know, but yeah, I can liquidate my entire book in a second. or I can go all in on multiple markets within a second. You know, it happens that quickly. So speed is the the word here, and it's really, really important for me, because I want, when something is happening, I want to get in as quickly as possible with my a lot of size, and I want to try and scale out that size as quickly as possible. So this is why using the keyboard is even better than a mouse, which is a great tool in on itself. But I use keyboard now, and it's all because something that Mike Bellafiore said a while back, by thinking that mouse traders are very inefficient, and I think he's right. But the mouse allows me to move across multiple ladders, multiple domes at any given time. But yeah, have a look at this keyboard setup. These are all the things that I've got going on. It allows me to be very quick and very efficient, and I can also change my order entry using the keypad really quickly, and I type with my left hand, and this took, traders on the floor, it took them months to get good at this, and we practice every day, 4 or 5 times a day, typing in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of numbers with our left hand, so we can get really good and really quick at order entry different numbers. So I advise you to to have a go, to do it on the demo, but don't think that this is going to happen overnight, guys. Typing with your left hand without making mistakes is a tough task. Even if you are typing with your left hand, you still just won't be used to it, so it takes a long time, and I've been doing this for 20 years. So next thing, let's look at, and let's talk about oh, I've lost my slides. Hang on, sorry. Be patient with me, please. Here we go. Sorry. So here is my keyboard, and these are the basic functions that I have. Now, I use these gaming keyboards, gaming mice, because they are programmable, and the fact that they're programmable, I can do them, I can get different buttons to do different things, and these are just some of the buttons that I use. And I buy good quality ones. I use this brand called Razer, whatever it's called. It's a gaming community tool, and because I just don't want it to break, and I've got lots of spares as well. So if my mouse for whatever reason breaks, I can just bring up another one and replace it. All my hardware is replaceable, and I have spares everywhere. And that's basically it. So I'm going to quickly jump over to the next screen. So I think I've bored you enough with all this stuff, but I really want you to understand how and why I do things. It's all about reducing the steps in, the thinking.
7 a.m. Eastern time of the US NBA 30-year mortgage
the thinking
previous
of
9.8%.
I'm eliminating the
NBA
thinking by
mortgage
practicing my
previous
process, and then once
4.2%.
that thinking is instinctive, it has to be reflected in the execution, and the way I do that is by using the keyboard, the mouse, and the domes. They are excellent tools for order entry in fast trading environments. So let's just, without further ado, let's just quickly go to my desktop so you can see. There you go. So that is what you tend to see on my screen. And this is a ladder, and you've probably seen it, and it's got basically, this is the market profile, this is the ticker. So if you're not familiar with this, it's what most guys that I've traded with use. So there's a top tip. So what does it do? Well, it allows me to enter orders in really quickly and cancel them. And on this particular dome, I've got a slight lag because this is not my trading dome. This is my video dome. But I'll quickly show you my execution dome. But basically, whatever I do on this screen here reflects onto this dome. Although, oh, hang on, because I've got this side not set up. So yeah, so basically whatever I do on one screen reflects on another one, but this is currently set up on demo, which I think I can quickly tools trade, yeah, simulation. So okay, so now I'm going back to live. So let me see. Yeah, so these are all orders that I'm just entering using a keyboard. and I can exit them very, very quickly, but you can see how quickly I can get multiple orders in there, and I can do it even faster with a keyboard, but that is when I'm executing at price. So I will only use my keyboard when I want to trade at a specific price. For example, the market now is trading 15 3/4, 16 and 16 and a half. If I want to buy or sell those or very close or very near those areas, I will use the keyboard. But if I want to place an order far away, I will use the mouse, quite relaxed. There it is, there it goes. These are real live orders going in. I tend to normally have my biggest clip size on the setup. I can change it to 3, to 2, to 1, to 3, to 5, very, very accurately, very quickly as well. But I tend to have it on my maximum, so that way when I I tend to clip in clips of 3 and 6, so that's just how I do it. But as you can see from my keyboard screen, I can also hit 3 orders at the same time, same price, using a special key on my macro mouse, or I can use the keyboard to execute hundreds of orders at any given price in a very short space of time as well. So these are all designed for speed, and what you can see here is, you just look, 67 lots just got lifted into 17s, 18 lots trading, 19 lots sold into 17 1/4, 15 lots of trading at 17 and a half, back 2 lots down at 17 and a quarter. This is what it's showing you. This is the last traded, blue and red, depending on whether it's a buy or sell. And as these orders are trading, I'm getting a sort of I'm getting a profile build up, so I can track things as they're progressing throughout the day. I can see the low volume nodes, I can see the high volume nodes, I can see the value area high, very low, previous close. These are all the important references that I have, plus a few other in my head.
1 minute remaining. I'm reading US MBA 30-year mortgage rates first.
I don't display, but what I try to do is I standardize the dome across all of my screen. So this is my footprint. You all see me use it all the time. I chart about it a lot. I use it a lot to chart with, and because it just gives me a good historical reference as to what's happened, how buyers and sellers have interacted. So I know that prices come down to this important little area here, down between 5 and 11, and we have we've gone down there. We've had a lot of selling. There's a big selling candle there on the delta, and it didn't manage to go much lower. It got absorbed. It pushed back up. This got the shorts got pushed back up all the way up to this little zipper here, where
10 seconds
again sellers regain their composure, and we're sort of grinding back down into the lows. But it's really, really sort of important to see that this is a complement to this. Footprint is a complement to the footprint. Okay,
84%, and the MBA mortgage
the
application
footprint is a complement to the ladder. The ladder is my primary source of information. This is just a good sort of historical. I'm looking at specific area to get involved in. It just helps me to sort of gauge what's going on. But I can't really in a 20-minute video explain to you how I use the dome to execute. But this is the ticker. This is basically an overview, guys. So this is basically the ticker, and it shows me where all the larger orders are entering into the market, what they're doing, how they're doing. So we've just seen some big clips hitting into 17s, and then they didn't really get anywhere. These are big clips, but we haven't seen price move much lower. We are trading on the upper side of this little high volume node, localized high volume node, this little bump here. But it's not really, you can see this big tail. We've got the majority of volume done up here, so I expect there to be some kind of resistance up here at 22s. I just use all of my tools. I use the same methodologies. I'm looking at the dome, the footprint, the market profile. They are all profiles. Everything is a little profile. Look at my screen here. These are little profiles, guys. Okay, they've just got funny colors in them, but I use them. I treat them as a as market profiles. Look, there's a double distribution just here. Look, big node up here, little node, another node down here. We've got a normal distribution. Where is it? That one. These are all normal distributions. Normal. What we're looking for is P distribution. Look, there's a P distribution there. There's a B distribution there. So all of this, they're just profiles, guys. Don't think about them in any other way. I wasn't supposed to be talking about footprints, but it really makes me angry that some people try to sell this as something it's not. It's just a simple way to sort of look at mini profiles, okay? We look at big time frames and we're going down right down to the micro scale, which is these are rotational bars. But yeah, this gives me a good visual reference of what's going on, and this is the ladder and this is the tool I use. Now I'm going to quickly flip over to my ladder screen. There we go. He wants to see me. There I am. Okay, so these are my ladders. This is where it's all done. I can trade. I can trade oil. We're at the highs now. You see this little low volume node? Look at that. You know, I don't have to look at a chart. I can just see, look, that's probably an area where there's going to be some kind of support now. You know, we've seen this little break higher. We had this little sort of little breakaway from the prior volume area, and we've left this little tiny gap. And you know, where we've left little gaps, those are areas of interest for me to trade. Why are they? Because, you know, price hasn't traded there for very long, which if I'm to, you know, put an order in there and get filled, I don't expect to go much below where I am, you know, where I'm filled at. So I'm not sure if I explained that very well, but that's not really the purpose of this video. But the fact is that I can look at all the nooks and crannies of the profiles on multiple orders, multiple markets at any given point. I've got my 2-year, my 5-year, I've got my 10-year, which I trade quite a bit. I've got my 30, which I trade quite a bit. I've got oil, gold, all these things I trade. And then I've got my references, you know, for correlations. I've got copper, which is a good indicator for you know, the economy. I think this needs to be rolled. I think it rolled yesterday or today, and I've not been at my desk, so I need to roll it today. So this is gasoline, which I use to gauge oil activity. WTI is what I trade. Also, you can look at Brent. And then I've got, you know, my complexes here. These are all the US equity complexes. I've got my Dow, I've got my Russell, I've got my Nasdaq, and I've got my ES. But I've got my eyes on all of this stuff, guys. It's really, really important for me just to keep an eye on all of it. I got a really good idea about what's happening in the markets in general. So, but more importantly, if there's a comment out, I can enter my orders really quickly. Really quickly across any of these products. And if I see something move, if I see the yen move, if I see the 2-year move, I can very quickly, or gold or oil, anything, I know what to play off it if there's a big move. Not always, that's not how it works, but I know how these things you know, interact. So the correlations are a big you know, they're a big tool for me in my daily trading. But I need to know when to use them and when not to use them. There are times when they just don't make any sense. But, you know, that's not what, you know, the market's not there to give you free money or, you know, make it easy for you. It's there to make you work for it. And understanding and learning correlations is a big part of my trading sort of arsenal. I've traded correlations for, you know, 20 years because I am deep down, I am a spreader, so I understand these relationships pretty well. So I advise you to also try to understand these relationships really, really well. And I think people who are just trading off one ladder are disadvantaged in a way. Also, if you don't have a news service, I think that's also a disadvantage. So you're just always going to be just that little bit ahead and asking questions when big moves happen, when it's good to know what's going on, especially at the moment we've got all this inflation stuff going on. Right, so let me quickly move on to the last bit about information and news and
the OPEC meeting starts.
Tickstrike. I always have that squawk on. Even though I'm doing this video for you guys, I won't turn it off because at heart I'm a trader. If I'm talking to you guys, I'm doing this video for free, and I miss a big trade, I'm going to shoot myself. So I've got the squawk up at all times, and I will just drop this video if something happens that I need to get involved in. So let me quickly talk about Tickstrike and what it is. It's a great visual tool. Let me just take you to that screen. Right. Oh, I've gone back. So God, this is the least flashy video ever you're going to see, but hopefully it's useful. It's an it's an audio tool, much like the ladder. It basically does the same job as the ladder and the ticker. It just lets me audibly know when there's an interaction between buyers and sellers in the market and the speed of the tape. It allows me to walk away from my desk at any given time and not miss something, or when I was on the trading floor, if I'd walk away to go and get lunch, which I hardly ever did, or I walked away to go to the toilet, which I had to do, I would get somebody, when I would come back, someone give me a recap of what's just happened. Sometimes I'd get shouted at to come back to the desk. I don't have that at home. I'm trading alone, so I need to know when things are moving. So Tickstrike is just a great audio tool to give me an alert when something is actually happening. Because at the moment, as you can hear, we're not even hearing it. We might get to hear it, but there's nothing going on in these markets, so you're not going to hear it. But what it does, it just makes a sound for buying and a sound for selling, a different sound, so you can hear the audio difference. And when buyers are being aggressive, the sound will speed up. It's like a tapping noise, like that. That's how I can describe it. So it's a tapping noise. So if you're hearing tap, 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 that's a very slow market. Nothing's going on. But if you're starting to hear this, basically someone's knocking at your door saying, hey, come and have a look, something's going on in the market. So the Tickstrike tool is really useful, and guys, it's free. Financial Juice make it free on their website, so use it. The one thing I would say about it is you need to know when to use it, because it is a tool that can get you into trouble, because sometimes you might hear that sudden, there might be a flush of orders that hit the market, and you think all of a sudden something's happened, so you hit into those orders, or you try to follow it, whatever, and then you will probably be buying the top or selling the lows. So it is a dangerous tool, but you need to know when to use it, and the best time to use it is when the market is busy. Okay, you want to hear that change of pace, you want to hear that change of direction, you want to hear that buying turn into selling. So check it out. I can't describe it to you fully, I can't show you how to use this tool. It's something that your brain needs to sort of clock on and figure out how it works. So go onto the Financial Juice website. There is a tool for free for the ES, I think oil and the 10-year. Those are the major markets. I mean, for me, those are all the markets I trade. But there are options for a paid service, which gives you access to the Tickstrike tool for almost any other traded product. There are some advantages of using those using some of those other tools. Like, for example, if you're trading the NASDAQ, the ES, having a Tickstrike tool for the FANGs is a great tool, and it's something that I want to bring into my arsenal for trading things like sorry, I forgot what it is now. Earnings. So when the earnings come out, being able to audibly listen to how the market's reaction, how NASDAQ FANG stocks are reacting to their earnings, and how I can then, will aid me in executing on the NASDAQ ladder. So that's one thing. So Tickstrike is a good tool for, just keeping you aware of what's going on in the market. It is a dangerous tool, so be aware there are pitfalls, but you can only really figure that out by, using it yourself. I know how I use it. It's my tool. I can tell you how I use it, but maybe you don't agree with me. But I advise you guys to, check it out. It's a really good tool. I think that's what I want to say about Tickstrike. It's just a different, just a different way. It's a confirmation tool actually as well, because sometimes what I'm hearing just confirms what I hear and see on the footprint. So that just gives me that extra conviction to hit more size or less size. It helps me a lot. It really does. And I tried to do without it for a while, and I couldn't. And I lost it. Well, I didn't lose, but that's not mean I don't lose normally, but I didn't do very well as I should have done or had been doing. But it was an experiment to see if I could live without it, and the answer is I've gotten so used to it now that I can't. Now, if you don't want to use Tickstrike, there are other tools that you can use. Sierra, I think, do something like it. TT do something like it on their tickers. Basically, they audibly highlight the bids and offers that are trading with the market, but it's just not as good. It just doesn't have the filter system. It's just a lot of noise. So there you go. You just heard it now. You heard that quick tapping, succession of tapping, selling into the lows. Look, there it is. Look, red footprint. Someone was selling into those lows. and you heard it on Footprint first. You see, I wasn't even looking at it, and I knew what was going on without looking at my screen. That just shows you how useful this tool is to me, guys. You know, that's a perfect example. I knew, before I looked at my screen, I told you that was somebody selling into the bids. And there you have it on the Footprint there. Oh, you can't see it. Hang on, let me quickly get it up. There it is. Look, that was, when I heard that, you know, quick succession of clicks, that lit up red, and yeah, there, hear it again. You can hear it again. Let's just see if it does anything. Sorry, this is not fun. It's like stalking prey or something, or you know, doing an Attenborough video where you've got to spend 3 or 4 years trying to film a snow leopard only to get a few minutes of footage. We don't know what's going to happen in this market right now, so there it is. So someone is holding this bid now, so you can hear someone is selling, someone's knocking on the door of 14s, but you know, at the moment someone's absorbing it, and you might hear a stop. What I'm hoping for is you hear like a little flush, but it's just so lackluster at the moment. But we're at the lows of the day, so it might happen. This is an area of support. This still here. We've got to get through this, but someone is holding this, which, you know, it can be expected. If there's some pace going into these lows, if that tape started picking up, I might hit that low. You know, that's how it works for me. But yeah, you need to experience this yourself. It's a complement to the Footprint. It's a complement to the ladders. It's a complement. All these tools complement each other, but they work in perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. And that's why they're important. All right, that's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to say. I think I've talked a lot. So if there are any questions, just get back to me. Yeah, this video is unedited. I'm not going to bother editing it. I just don't have the time to do that kind of stuff. But I think I've been as concise as possible. And if there are any questions, just, you know, ping me, message me. I'm here to help you guys.
Also hurt by China remaining committed to its zero COVID approach. US contracts slipped after a tech-led slide hurt the S&P 500.
You're seeing this continuous selling.
Spanish inflation unexpectedly surged to a record, dashing hopes that inflation
in the
Eurozone's fourth biggest economy had peaked.
Financial juice, be quiet.
Emboldening European central bank policy makers pushing for the big increases in interest rates. German benchmark bonds rose, while 10-year Treasury yields slipped to 3.16%. The dollar was steady after rising the most in over a week in the Wall Street session.
No idea where this is coming from, because I've sort of turned it all off. But anyway, you got a little bit of an example of how Tickstrike is used. Okay, so look, this is a little P profile Footprint. Look, little P. There's the tail. There's the body of it. Now we're trading on the upper, you know, in the upper range of the P distribution. This is a mini P profile on the Footprint. I just wanted to highlight that quickly, just show you that footprints don't have to be complicated. They're just little mini profiles. Okay, but yeah, that P profile was created by sellers trying to break below. They flushed lower. They're back now above the majority where the volume was done. But you know, Tickstrike gave me an audio alert to all of that going on. All right, okay, that's it. So I will say goodbye again. That's the end of my video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, we should do some like questions and answers if people want. I think that could be useful. Yeah. Okay, right. Take care, guys.